Hey y'all, it's Alex Vanover back with Divine Design Crafts, and I am so excited to be live with you guys tonight. I have missed you so much. It's been forever since I've been live. You guys probably know if you followed me that I've moved, and so I'm in our new house. We've been in our new house for probably like a month now. So I'm just now starting to get set up and get things moving. And so I wanted to do my first live with you guys because I missed you so much while I was gone. So I'm doing a quick craft tonight. Well, it's not super quick, but it's really, really easy on etching glass. I'm going to etch a glass beer mug for my dad since this weekend is Father's Day and we are celebrating Father's Day with my dad tomorrow. So I thought we'd do a quick craft and I'd show you guys how to do this. So if you'll give me just a second, I'm going to share the video around a little bit so that some other people can join us. So if you are joining me, let me know that you can hear me okay and see me okay. And I'll be back in just a second and I'll show you how to do this craft. It is like super late tonight. I did not intend to get started this late, but it is like always crazy with moving. I'm always looking for more things. I like lost everything I have, so I could not find anything to get this live started. I had a bunch of little pieces that I need like for my microphone and stuff, and I could not find it anywhere. So I had to track all those down before I went live with you guys. So yeah, that's why I'm a little later than I thought, but that's okay because I was going to do this anyway. So whether I do it with you or just on my craft table, either way, I'm doing it. So give me just a moment to share this guy around. I have also had some internet issues. So if you guys will let me know if you can hear me okay and that like the sound's not lagging and stuff like that. That's another reason why I had to wait to go live with you is I had to have Time Warner Cable come and fix my internet. Or excuse me, I guess it's Spectrum now. But I wanted to make sure that I had the best connection for you. So let me know how that's going tonight too. There we go. I think my computer's caught up with us. We'll get this guy shared around and then we'll get started. If you guys have never etched glass before, you are going to be pleasantly surprised. It is so easy to do and it turns out into such a nice gift. I don't know if I can't see if any of you guys are joining me. Looks like there's a couple of you. So let me know if you can hear me okay and see me okay. One more share, guys, and we will be all set to get started. Hope you guys have had a wonderful week. It has been a crazy week here in my house, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. Although I love it, it has been nuts to move. Moving is crazy. It makes everything crazy. You pretty much lose everything you own. And so that makes it really difficult. And then on top of that, both my husband and I have been sick over the last couple of weeks. And so it's just been really crazy. He was home from work today and I'm on the mend, but I'm not quite better yet. So it has just been like absolutely wild. And I think we probably are both sick because we have been moving and things have been crazy. So we're just kind of all feeding off of each other. But I'm so looking forward to this weekend. I did some yoga with my trainer earlier this evening and I'm feeling so much more relaxed and so excited to be back with you guys. So let's get started and figure out, I'll teach you how to glass etch. I have etched several things kind of over the years. I did a huge Christmas craft thing with a church that we were going to over Christmas. And my favorite thing that I've ever etched is a casserole dish. I'm going to go ahead and put my gloves on since I have to have them on anyways. So that's one thing that you need to do this craft is I always like to do it with gloves. Because the chemical that we're using to etch glass is just that, it's a chemical. So I always feel like you should be safe with stuff like that. So I wear gloves. Everybody, I don't know that everybody recommends that you do, but I certainly do. I think every crafter should have gloves in their craft room. But anyway, so my favorite thing that I've ever etched was a casserole dish for some friends of mine who were getting married, and they really seemed to love it. I had so much fun making it for them, and I just loved doing it. So I have had a good bit of glass etching experience. It's really easy, and one of my favorite things that I love about it is that the dollar store has like all the glass you could ever need to etch. The mug that I am gonna etch for you guys and show you how to use is literally from Dollar Tree. So that's why this is such a great gift. It's such an easy gift. It's cheap, and glass etching is great because after you buy the etching cream, you can try all different kinds of blanks and things like that, get more experience, learn about it. And it's just like so fun, easy, and cheap. Like I can't say enough about it. So I'm loving it. So a couple things you need are gloves and some glass. You can use votive holders, you can use candles, you can use mugs, you can use glass wine glasses. And of course the etch look is a little bit different from vinyl. It's a little more subtle and like a little more yeah, I guess that's the best word for it. Like it gives that frosty look on your glass, but the cool thing is it's permanent. Obviously with vinyl, you can't put that on things like casserole dishes because they go in the oven and it's gonna get too hot and like emit toxic fumes. So you can't do that, but with glass etching, I mean, it's super permanent. So you can put it in the dishwasher, you can put it in the microwave, you can put etch things in the oven. Of course, you're going to etch the outside, so it's not going to be touching your food. But that's one of the things I like about it is it's so much more permanent than like regular vinyl. If you want to do anything with vinyl. So another thing that you're going to need is some alcohol and cotton balls or something, some kind of something to put the alcohol on because I'm going to clean my surface before we use our stencil. And I'm using an Oracal 651 stencil. This is just white matte Oracal 651 that I already had. My dad is a Reds fan, so that's what I'm going to use. And as you can see, I picked out the parts of the vinyl that you would normally keep. So some people call that reverse weeding. I'm not sure that that is reverse weeding. I always get confused on that because some people refer to reverse weeding as adding the transfer tape to the whole design, taking it off the backing, and then picking parts out. Or some people call this reverse weeding. So I don't know what it's called. I prefer to call it like negative weeding because you're taking out all of the areas that would normally be kept. Because this blue backing that you can see is actually the backing of the vinyl. What I have left over is just the stencil. It's the remainder that you would normally throw away. So you need to have something cut and negative weeded. You'll need a pen to do your weeding, of course. And then I use a popsicle stick to spread my etching cream because I just think it's simpler and really easy. So you can use that, or if you have like a paintbrush, if you have a smaller thing, you can use that too. You'll need some transfer tape for your stencil as well, and maybe a squeegee to apply, and scissors, of course, because every crafter has to have a pair of scissors for everything. And really, that's about it. So all of this stuff, other than the etching cream and the glass blank that you are going to etch, is stuff that you should already have in your craft room. So it makes it really fun and simple. So if you're just now joining me, thanks for jumping on. I'm Alex Vanover, and tonight we are etching a glass beer mug for Father's Day. So let me know where you're from and where you're watching from. And in the meantime, while you guys are letting me know that, I'm going to readjust the camera and show you what I'm doing down low here. This is one of my first lives in my new craft room, you guys. I'm so excited. I have such cool plans for this, and I admittedly have not made too much progress. I still have a lot to go, but I do have some ideas of what I'm gonna do now with my craft room. So I guess that's the most important part, huh? I'll prop you up on my laptop there. So that way you can get a better view of what I'm doing. All right. That looks like a funny angle. Okay, so we'll get started like this, and then if you guys can't see, let me know. So if you're just now joining me, let me know where you're joining me from, and give this video a big like if you learned something about glass etching today. So the first thing I'm going to do before I etch my glass is I'm going to clean my glass with alcohol. So my dad is right-handed, so he's probably going to want his logo facing forward. So I'm going to turn my mug this way and clean it off with some alcohol. It's been sitting for a while. It went through the move with me. Hey, Debbie, thanks for joining me. Where are you joining me from? So made through the move, so it got a little bit dusty. So we always want to make sure we clean our surface, just like with any vinyl project. We don't want to have any dust or anything yuck and gross underneath all of the stencil. You're from Cary, North Carolina. That's awesome. Well, thanks for joining me, Debbie. I can't wait to show you how to etch glass. Have you ever etched glass before? Let me know if you're joining me, if you've done this before, or if this is brand new for you. So if you're just now joining me, all I've done so far is clean my glass with alcohol. I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to apply my transfer tape to my stencil. So the stencil that I'm using is the Cincinnati Reds logo, and it's just something I found on the internet and using for my dad. Don't worry, I'm not selling it, so I can use it with whatever license I need to, just for personal use and just for fun. So Debbie said that she has not etched before and she's waiting to learn. Well, great, Debbie. I think you're going to be shocked by how easy this is, and I think you're going to want to go out and get started like tomorrow, because it is the best thing ever. It's so easy, and honestly, I think it makes like the best gift. But one thing you'll notice about my stencil, let that focus a little bit. One thing you'll notice about my stencil is I did leave a little bit of extra vinyl all the way around. You can cut that a little bit closer if you want to. I know a lot of people are funny about wasting vinyl. I think it's easier to just leave some vinyl around the perimeter of the stencil, because as we put our etching cream on the stencil, it's potentially going to seep off the sides a little bit, and if it does that, it's going to etch over top of your stencil. So that's why you want to leave some extra around the edges. If you don't have a lot of extra around your edges, you can also use painter's tape to do that. So there's lots of choices for that. But I just prefer to use basically a scrap. I got this out of my scrap bin. It's like 3 inches, a little bigger than 3 inches by 3 inches, so it's not a ton of vinyl anyway. But sometimes you do etch bigger things and you need more than that. But I just used a scrap, so I didn't even waste anything. All right, so I've got my mug in front of me, and I'm going to go ahead and take off my vinyl and my transfer tape off the backing. And I want to apply my vinyl and transfer tape as smoothly as I can to the surface of my glass, because the more wrinkles that you have in your stencil, the more potential there is for etching cream to seep underneath your stencil and make your lines not as crisp. So you want to be really careful to apply this well the first time if you can help it. So I'm going to stand up because I always find it easier to center everything when I'm standing. I'm going to hold, actually I might prop my handle up a little bit to kind of keep it up straight for me. So I'm using my etching bottle to prop my handle so that my glass doesn't roll around. And I'm going to place it toward the middle of my glass so that the logo, you can see the logo easily when holding this beer mug. I'm just going to eyeball it. You don't need to overthink it too much there. Then I'll use my squeegee and push the lines of the stencil down really well. So this is why it's important to apply without some of these lines. I've got some lines out here on my stencil, but that's okay because this is just excess vinyl around the outside. So once your vinyl is well applied, you can just peel your transfer tape off and you're just going to be left with your stencil. So what you'll notice is around the area where the etching cream is going to go, it is really well smoothly applied, and there are some wrinkles in kind of this outer vinyl, but it's just excess vinyl to protect my stencil from getting like the etching cream over the side, so that's not a big deal if that's a little bit wrinkly, but I did the best job applying it that I could so that my etch turns out really smooth. So the next thing that we're going to do is apply etching cream, but I want to talk about etching cream with you guys for a second because I do think that this is something important when it comes to etching. So you can buy Armor Etch at Walmart. A lot of people will tell you that it's just fine, and there's nothing wrong with Armor Etch necessarily, but I have used Etchall, and that is what I learned to etch with. When I did earlier in my live, I referenced a church event that we did where I did a bunch of crafts with people around Christmas time. And when we etched votives, we used Armor Etch because I bought a big container and it was cheaper and there was going to be a lot of people doing it. But I really noticed a difference in the quality of the etch between Armor Etch and Etchall. So I highly recommend Etchall over Armor Etch. You can buy Etchall on etchall.com. As you can see, I have like this little tiny 2-ounce bottle and it lasts literally forever, you guys. I have done 2 casserole dishes, several wine glasses. I've done tons of projects with Etchall and I have literally barely used any of my cream because it's basically all reusable. So after you wipe it off, oh, of course my lid doesn't want to come off. After you wipe it all off, you can literally put it right back. So like, as you can see, I haven't hardly used any at all, and I've done tons of projects with this one. What I noticed with the Armor Etch that was less quality is that if you leave the Armor Etch on any longer than the recommended like 15 minutes or maybe 20 minutes for this one, it starts to dry really, really fast and it starts to get really crusty around your stencil. Yes, I can definitely, Debbie is asking for a link to the etchall.com. Absolutely, Debbie, I'd be happy to link that in the comments for you because it is kind of a specific website. But what I noticed with Armor Etch, which you can buy from Walmart, and if you're starting to etch and you've never etched before, you may pick up a small thing of Armor Etch just to give it a try. But I just noticed that if you leave it for longer than 15 minutes, it starts to dry. You're welcome, Debbie. It starts to dry immediately and get like crusty, and then it's really, really hard to get off. So that's why I'm not as big of a fan of it. But, you know, if you want to give it a shot, it is cheaper, but I just have not found the quality to be matched as well as Etchall. And you know what, guys? As soon as I said that, I realized I forgot something. I forgot a baby wipe because that's what I'm going to wipe all of my etching cream off with. So give me just a second. Let me, actually, we'll apply our excuse me, I will apply the Etchall first and then I'll go get a baby wipe because you do have to let this etch for 15 minutes. So we'll have a second before I can go get that baby wipe. So I'm going to go ahead and use my popsicle stick, and you don't need a ton of etching cream, but you'll just dish a little bit out of your bottle. And you can see it's brown, so if you use a lighter color vinyl, it's really easy to see. Where the etching cream is going. You don't need a ton of product, but you do want to try to apply it relatively evenly. So you can put it on your project and begin to spread it around. And you want to go over those edges a little bit. You don't want to try to color in the stencil. You want to kind of overdo it a little bit so that it gets all the way to the edges of your project. You can just kind of do it as you go. It's pretty forgiving. So that's kind of nice about it. I really think it's a beginner-friendly craft. So if you consider yourself a newbie, I think that this is a great one for you to try. So I'm going to turn it to the other side so you guys can see. I'm going to get this side over here. And before I start my timer, I have my iPad over here to time us. I'm just going to try to get it as evenly as I can on the stencil. It's not going to be perfect and it doesn't really need to be, but I am going to try to even it out somewhat just so I get a relatively even etch. A lot of people, I know it probably looks kind of gross on the screen. It kind of looks like mud, but it's really, really, really easy to work with. A myth that I hear a lot of times with glass etching is the longer that you let it sit, the deeper it's going to etch, which is not the case with etching cream. So don't believe that lie. You always want to go with a recommended amount of time from the manufacturer. And the reason is because this chemical is only made to etch and sew deep to the glass. And at a certain point, it's not going to go any deeper because it isn't manufactured to go any deeper into the glass. So you don't, if you leave it for hours and hours, it's not going to do anything different. It's just going to dry and then you're going to have a harder time getting it off. So I would just always go with the manufacturer recommendation. Okay, well that looks pretty good to me. I've got everything covered relatively evenly, and I would say I used a moderate amount. I didn't use a ton, but here's what it looks like when it's fully covered. I know it doesn't look even, but I promise it looks even in person. So I'm gonna lay this down and I'm gonna get my timer started because we're only gonna etch for 15 minutes like I was just telling you. And so I'm just gonna use my iPad to time that. And the cool thing is when I'm finished with all of the etching, I can wipe my etching cream back off and I can put it back into my container. So it's basically like a no waste project, which I don't know about you guys, but I love that I don't have to waste very much except for a little tiny scrap of vinyl. So in my opinion, that rocks. So I'm going to start our timer at 15 minutes. If you guys will give me just a second, I'm going to scoot around the table and grab a baby wipe. I'll put you back up real quick, but I'm going to go grab a baby wipe because that's something else I forgot to say. And what you need is I always use a baby wipe to get the etching cream off of my project. So give me just a second. I'll be right back. Actually, I'm going to have to take off my microphone here. Sorry about that, I'm back. I always keep some spare baby wipes in my craft room. I feel like baby wipes are one of the most important pieces of craft supplies that you can keep in your craft room just in case you need it. So while we have some time to wait, if you guys have any questions about etching, let me know that. Actually, I have a good idea. Maybe while we are waiting for our etching cream to sit here and etch, there's really nothing we can do. So if you want, I will show you guys around my new craft space. It's not fully set up yet. I still have a lot of stuff on the way and things I am still trying to do. But I'll show you guys around. So in the meantime, while I'm showing you my craft room, make sure that you put any questions about etching or really any other crafts in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking, where you're watching from. I'd love to know where you are in the world watching this video, and I'll show you around my craft space a little bit. So let me turn you guys around and I'll show you what I got going on. So give me just a second. It's going to be a little bumpy. Sorry, folks. All right, so for starters, this is my craft table. This is the same table that I had before, and I'm getting ready to upgrade this weekend, actually. My parents live in the same town as like the Cincinnati IKEA, and so I had my mom go and snag me one of those sit-stand desks that you can like crank up and down. So I'm so excited. I'm gonna be replacing that. And this is going to probably be my video corner, or at least that's my plan. And I'm hoping to have my craft desk come out this way. And then I was going to put those little 4-cube organizers, one here and one over there, with of course a little gap to get in and out of my space, and put like a countertop or like a piece of wood between the two to sort of make like a makeshift L-shaped desk. Or at least that was my original plan. So we'll see how that works out. And then I have some really cool plans for this corner. I don't want to spoil them yet because I don't know if they're going to work, but I have some really cool ideas. So here's some more of my other stuff. That's my heat press doesn't have a permanent home yet, so that's where it's living. But I want to show you guys really, really cool. So if you see all that supplies right there, that is all the stuff that I have bought to screen print with you. I am so excited to learn screen printing. You guys like reacted like crazy when I did a live video on screen printing a couple months ago. And so I decided that I'm going to learn right along with you. So I've got 5 colors of ink and a screen, and I'm planning on going live with you super soon, or just posting like an edited video of it, because I think it's going to be really fun, and you guys really seem to like it. But I want to practice and make sure that I know what I'm doing before I get on and show you. So that's one of the plans that I have going on. Let's see. So I have some of my heat transfer vinyl is on the back of the door once again. That's not its permanent home because, as you can see, like, it's crazy in there. But that's where it is for now because that's what I already have. And this is the little closet that I have in my craft room, because this is obviously typically a bedroom. So I have some out of season stuff in there, and my door can't close because my little holder doesn't allow it to. So that's okay. Still working on that organization method, but I've got tons of HTV to play with. So that will be fun over the coming months with you guys. And over here in this space, this is kind of my workout corner. That's why you see all my workout stuff there. So I got to figure out something to cover up this crawl space thing. It's kind of an eyesore and it's got some video equipment over here and stuff, but that's what that's going to be. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to format all of that. And that's another studio light. Along the wall, I just have like some more craft supplies that I need to organize. I have my adhesive vinyl holders that I want to put back probably along this wall, but I just need to figure out if that's for sure where they're going to go, because I don't want to screw into the wall before I make that decision, because I don't have any more of this paint color, and it's kind of a different color. I did not pick this. It's kind of like a light purple, which I really like, but I don't have any extra paint. So I'm trying not to put holes in the walls until I know for sure that I like what I'm going to do. So that's my plan there. And that's my tripod, because I did a live doing a tumbler the other day on Facebook. So go watch that if you want to learn about tumblers. So this is my tumbler space. This is the same organizer and everything that I had before, but it's been a little well loved lately because I've been back into the tumblers. So that's been fun, and I have some plans for you guys for some Tumbler Series. I'm super excited for that. And then this is just a bunch of crazy stuff. I'm not going to lie, guys, I did not clean up my craft room. This is exactly how it looked before I went live. And this is all the stuff that I don't know what to do with. So, you know, that's moving. Can you etch on acrylic like keychain blanks, or is glass the best thing? Debbie, that's a great question. I would think that you can etch on acrylic. I know that, of course, it's made for glass etching, but I don't see why you can't etch on an acrylic. I would think it would work just fine. But maybe I'll have to try that and let you know, because that would be a really neat experiment. Great question. So this is just a bunch of random stuff, some florals and some things that I have to figure out. So that's kind of and that's of course my studio light, making sure that my video for you guys is well lit. So that's kind of my space overall. This is a huge bedroom. It's basically the size of our garage because it's right over top of the garage. And so I'm super excited to show you guys more and do some DIYs on organizing it, because I know people are always interested in how to organize their craft space. One thing that has been super funny lately is my cat Penguin. If you guys follow me, you know that I am obsessed with my cat Penguin. He can open door handles that are like this because he's really, really long. So he can like reach up the door and grab the handle and open it. So I literally have to lock myself in here, or my cat will literally bust in and not allow me to do my crafts. Plus, he loves watching out the window, and this is his favorite window because it's on the second floor and he can do so much. Debbie wants to know if I can do a video on how to do a tumbler like what I have in the corner, the purple and silver one. Absolutely, Debbie. I actually have some plans to do a full-on tumbler series that is super, super thorough from start to finish. Because something that I think is really missing for you guys is kind of a really thorough explanation of all the steps. And there's so many different ways to do them. There's so many different methods. And I really want to spend some time focusing on that. So I'm going to take my time with it. I don't want to rush it, but I actually have been talking to some friends of mine who are really experienced with making tumblers, and I definitely have that in the plans because I really am passionate about that. I want to make sure that the videos for you guys are well produced. They make sense, because a lot of the videos that you look up on YouTube are like live in somebody's garage. And while that's not a bad thing, I think it can be a little bit confusing if you're a newbie. At least I found it really confusing when I first started. So I definitely have plans for a Tumbler series for sure. I'm hoping like later this summer to do it for you, because I want to release them all consecutively, and I want to do it like literally start to finish. How to prep your tumbler, how to glitter your tumbler, how to paint your tumbler if that's what you want to do, how to use epoxy, what kind of epoxy. So there's tons of questions to answer, and I want to answer them all. She says she watched my video on the tumbler and you want to do some like your own, but you need a turner. Yeah, and that's another thing is I bought this turner and I want to learn how to make one so that I can teach you guys how to make one. Because people say buy the tumbler or buy the turner on Etsy or make it yourself, but there's no like instructions out there about how to do that. So luckily I have a really crafty husband as well. He and thanks, Debbie. I think it's much needed. And so I'm trying to think it out and make sure that it's like a well fleshed out idea before I just go for it. So yes, I definitely have not. I've heard those requests and I'm totally on it. I just want to think it through first. But luckily I have a really handy husband, and I'm going to enlist his help whether he wants to give it or not, and try to figure out the best way to build a tumbler, or excuse me, build a turner, so that I can show you guys where to get the stuff you need, what to do, you know, all that kind of stuff, because I just find that it's really needed. Even some of the people who are a little more professionally produced on YouTube, I just don't find that their series make a lot of sense. So let me know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in. Obviously, Debbie is interested, but if you guys are interested as well, let me know in the comments if that's something that you want to see, or what else you'd rather see instead. If you're like, absolutely not, I don't care about tumblers, tell me about something else. I'm happy to do that too. So that's kind of what I have in the works for you guys in the coming weeks and months, is some stuff on tumblers and some stuff on screen printing, because that's what seems to be the most interesting to all of you. So that's my plan. Let me know if you guys agree. Let's see what our timer says about how much time we have left. Oh, we have like 3 minutes left, so perfect timing. So I guess we'll just have to chat until then. What have you guys been up to? How's your weather? What's it like? It has like been, so I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, because most of you probably know that I work for 651 Vinyl, and that's where 651 is located, and I live there too. So it's been like this crazy weird week because it's obviously early June, and it's been like cold. The other night I had to go dig a jacket out of my closet, and I was like, what is going on here? So it's been kind of a weird week, but we're looking at a lot of thunderstorms this weekend, and I'm so excited because we're supposed to go to a baseball game tomorrow night with my dad, and then meet my sister there, and my niece and nephew, and my brother-in-law. It's going to be so much fun, but I'm really nervous we're going to get rained out. So hopefully, pray for us, guys. We need it. I'm hoping it will stay dry and be really nice so that we can watch the game, because my nephew loves baseball, and my dad loves baseball, and my brother-in-law loves baseball. So it's going to be really fun. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. What plans do you guys have for Father's Day? What kind of cool stuff do you do? I feel like Father's Day is tougher than Mother's Day, especially when like celebrating and when finding gifts, because there are so many gifts geared toward mom and stuff like that. But like when I was trying to find a card for my dad for Father's Day, all of them were so sarcastic. And I am a super sarcastic person. I have a sarcastic sense of humor. I don't usually show that here on YouTube, but I do. And I think that's hilarious. But all those cards that I found for my dad, I was like, these are mean. Like, I'm not trying to bully my dad on Father's Day. So I don't know if you guys have had the same experience, but I just feel like Father's Day is hard because Mother's Day, I guess, is like better marketed. I don't know. Like, it's easier to appeal to the emotions of your mom than it is to appeal to the emotions of your dad. But your dad's super important too. There's like my life would not be the same without my dad. So I want to celebrate Father's Day adequately and do cool stuff with him. So let me know in the comments if you guys are with me, because I like struggled. I looked through a lot of cards to find a good one for my dad, and I settled on a good one. I can't say what it is in case he watches this. I don't think he watches some of my videos. Hopefully he won't watch this one. Maybe he sees Father's Day. He'll peek at his present. We'll see. We will see. So we're only at 1 minute left, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and move my camera back down so that I can show you guys what to do. Oh, of course, I just got it all over my arm. So, chemicals on your skin are not a good thing, which is another great reason for baby wipes. So just make sure that I got the etching cream off my skin. I just barely accidentally grazed it, but still, you want to make sure that you keep your skin super clean and chemical free. So that's something else I want to caution you on. I have seen lots of posts in the past, not necessarily right now, but I've seen lots of posts of people washing etching cream down in like their metal sinks or their ceramic sinks, and they have actually like the etching cream has etched into the surface of their sink. So that's why I think that the baby wipe is the best method for getting it off, because you're not going to hurt anything by throwing this away. And I usually keep some Kroger bags or something like grocery bags in my craft room, and I'll throw away like grocery bags of like trash like this so that I don't end up having to put it down my sink. So there's my timer. Just went off for 15 minutes because, as you can see, we are using Etchall etching cream, and that's what they recommend. So we always want to go with the manufacturer's recommendation. Just like with HTV, we go with Caesar's recommendation because they're our typical manufacturer. We're going to go with their advice. So I'm going to use the same popsicle stick that I used before, and I'm actually going to scrape a lot of this etching cream back off of my project before I wipe it with the baby wipe so that I can put it back in my jar. But I'm going to wipe it this way because I have more vinyl up. This is actually the bottom of the design, but I have more vinyl up here so that I'm not going to like wipe my etching cream onto my glass. And you literally just scrape it back in. And it's a chemical, so it just keeps on working. It doesn't really lose strength, which I think is just amazing. I love when crafts don't have a bunch of waste. It's awesome. Uh-oh, I hope I didn't miss the tail of that. I may have. I may have missed the very, very tail of my Reds logo. I hope I didn't, but I may have. Mistakes happen, you guys. I definitely make them. Even on the gifts that I've made, occasionally there's like a blotchy spot or something like that. And this really just kind of takes a feel of practice to, you know, get it just right. Okay, so I've scraped most of it off. I'll show you guys what it looks like before we start wiping it with the baby wipe. So I was able to scrape a lot of the etching cream off, which is great because I saved a lot of it. But I'm not going to worry about every little scrap, and I'm just going to take the baby wipe and wipe the rest of the decal clean. Just like that, and it just comes off really easy. But as you can see, after 15 minutes, it's really not dried out or crusty the way that I've noticed that Armor Etch can get, which makes it a whole lot easier for you when you're cleaning up your craft. It doesn't seem as like gross. So make sure that you've wiped anything around the perimeter off that has gotten onto the glass while you were wiping it off. And we will peel off our glass and, or excuse me, we'll peel off our stencil and see if we missed anything. So notice I still have my gloves on, especially during the peeling process. You're also going to need probably your pin pen to, and you want to make sure that it doesn't get etching cream on it either. You're going to need your pin pen to start the corner of your stencil because if it's well stuck down, it's not going to be easy to get back off. you guys, I didn't miss it. I think I covered that tail of the Reds logo okay. So yay, didn't get messed up. So I'm gonna get this inner center off, and then I'm gonna go back with a baby wipe and do one more wipe down because it's looking really dark where I etched, and that is not the actual etching. Some of that is just the chemical from the baby wipe. So I wanna show you guys what it's gonna really look like when it's done. Yay, it looks really good. So that's exciting. So I'll show you guys what it looks like, and then we're gonna give one more wipe with the baby wipe. So as you can see, there's a good bit of contrast back there. So you can see the Reds logo really well. But like I said, some of that is just like residual etching cream or residual from the baby wipe. So let me give it one more wipe, and I'll try to show you guys a little more accurately what it's gonna look like. Because kind of what I've noticed is after some time, once this kind of dries out, it does change the look a little bit. It's not going to be quite this dark. Debbie said, if you put your glass between two pairs of scissors, it would hold better for you. Oh, that's genius. I like that idea. Very good, Debbie. So she's saying like are you saying if you put scissors like here and here to like wedge it? Let me know what you're thinking, Debbie. All right, so I'm just rubbing some of the baby wipe chemical off here. I would definitely recommend like washing it off before you give it as a gift so that you kind of get all this extra chemical off there. But I like this look a lot. I think it's great. Makes a wonderful gift. Like I said, one of my favorite wedding gifts ever was an etched casserole dish. And I actually couldn't find Pyrex casserole dishes without an etched bottom. They had etched like their own branding information in the bottom. So I actually etched around the side. Lay it against the long part of the handle. Oh, like right here? Yeah, that's a genius idea, Debbie. So if you guys are watching, Debbie suggested laying a pair of scissors here to hold the mug in place so that it doesn't slide around as much. But the wedding gift that I did was actually along the like short edge of the casserole dish. And I started thinking about it and I thought, what a better idea than etching the bottom of a casserole dish, because each time you take it to like a church function or whatever, you're gonna have to like eat the whole thing or lift it up from the bottom to see whose it belongs to. If you put it along the side, it's so much easier to identify as yours. So pro tip for you guys, if you decide to etch the side of a Pyrex dish, do it on the side, not on the bottom. And don't worry about the bottom stuff. Because I was really stressed out because I thought, oh no, I can't find a plain casserole dish. You probably won't find a 100% plain one because every company is going to brand their own stuff so that they know where it came from. But doing the side works just as well. So here's kind of a final look of the cup. Let me see if I can find something to put behind it so you guys can see it better. This is some sandpaper. So I'll put that behind it so you can see the glass a little bit better. So it's not a super bright look, but I think it's really subtle and it's a really nice gift look. It looks a little more maybe professional than vinyl sometimes, just because it is so subtle. So, and it's a little more guyish. You know, some of us ladies might prefer a fun wine glass, whereas the guy just wants something subtle and simple. And I think this is a great gift. So if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the comments for me. Even though this is a live video and I won't be live soon, I'm still happy to answer those questions. If you have a series that you want to see, put that in the comments for me. And if you enjoyed hanging out and learned something, please give my video a big thumbs up and a big like so you let me know that I liked it. And if you're new here, welcome. Again, I'm Alex Vanover with Divine Design Crafts. Please feel free to subscribe if you want to hang out more often. I have tons of cool stuff going on in my brand new craft room. I have tons of great plans, so you'll definitely want to join us for that journey. It's going to be so much fun. So thank you guys so much for hanging out in my craft room with me tonight. I'm Alex Vanover. Let's craft again soon.